Trojan War was known as the greatest war in Greek mythology, war between the Greeks and the people of Troy. Trojan War had taken place in the 13th or 12th century before Christ during Bronze Age. That war was happened after Paris of Troy took Helen from her husband Menelaus, king of Sparta. The war is important event that inspiring William Butler as the mirror of Ireland tragedy. The tragedy was the reflection of Trojan War that caused by women and represented in his poem, No Second Troy. Greek cities were founded around the Black Sea, North Africa, Italy, Sicily, France, and Spain, while the archaeological site of Troy has 4,000 years of history. Troy is located on the mouth of Hizr Lake, which overlooks the plain along the Turkish Aegean coast. Helen, also known as Helen of Sparta, in Greek mythology, she was considered the most beautiful woman in the world. By marriage, she was Queen of Sparta, a province within Homeric Greece, the wife of King Menelaus. Menelaus was the king of Sparta, the husband of Helen of Troy, and a central figure in the Trojan War. He was son of Atreus and Iron, brother of Agamemnon, king of Mycenae. Paris was the child of Priam and Hecuba. The king and queen of Troy appears in a number of Greek legends. He was the best known was his elopement with Helen, queen of Sparta, this being one of the immediate causes of the Trojan War. The war began after the elopement of Queen Helen of Sparta by the Trojan prince Paris. Helen's children husband Menelaus convinced his brother Agamemnon to lead an expedition to retrieve her. Agamemnon was joined by the Greek heroes Achilles, Odysseus, Nestor, and Ajax, and also accompanied by a fleet of more than 1,000 ships from throughout the Hellenic world. They crossed the Aegean Sea to Asia Minor to lay siege to Troy and demand Helen's return by Priam, the Trojan king. In the Trojan War, there were several individual battles between generals of both kingdoms, such as Prince of Troy Hector between Ajax. most emotional battle was the battle between Hector and Achilles. He was a Greek hero of the Trojan War and greatest warrior. His parents were the king of the Myrmidons. Achilles' most notable feat during the Trojan War was the slaying of the Trojan hero Hector outside the gates of Troy. Hector's brother, Paris, was challenging Menelaus, Helen's husband, to fighting for Helen. It was an affair of revenge which triggered the Trojan War. From the story of Trojan War, it shows that Helen, as a legendary character from Homer, was considered to be one of the most beautiful women of her age. Helen was also partly responsible for starting the Trojan War, which eventually led to the burning of the great city of Troy. That story has related or represented with one of the greatest literature influences, specifically in book No Second Troy by William Butler Yeats.
Why should I blame her that she filled my days with misery, or that she would of late have thought to ignorant men most violent ways, or hardly the little streets upon the great? Had they but courage equal to desire, what could have made her peaceful with a mind that nobleness made simple as a fire, with beauty like a siphon bowl, a kind that is not natural in an image like this, being high and solitary and most stern. Why, what could she have done being what she is? Was there another Troy for her to burn?
The poem No Second Troy tells about Maud Gonne, who was inspiring Yeats to make that poem. Yeats dedicated his poem to Maud Gonne of being partially responsible for the violence in revolutionary Ireland. Gonne is a courageous and devastatingly beautiful woman. She is also a cruel rover, irresponsible activist. She uses her beauty and high ideals to convince people less noble and intelligent to do what she considers some very unwise things, like oppose the might of the British colonial powers. Yeats tries to create a parallel between Helen of Troy and Maud Gonne, as well as between the Trojan War and the anti-British revolutionary activists of Irishmen. Like Helen, he blames Maud for filling Irishmen with hatred and violence and causing bloodshed and destruction.